Well, we just got done with our first trip in the trailer. We are dubbing it as Red Rover. I think it's probably the most apt name for it. But in this video, what we'd like to do is to kind of go over our top 5 and our bottom 5 things that we like about the trailer. All right, so what we're going to do, normally I like to be a positive person, and I like to start with positive, but I think what we'll do is we'll kind of go through the negative things first, so the bottom 5 for each of us. And these can be things about the camper or things related, somewhat similar. I told Janet here not to speak about it being too cold because it was cold.
I'm out.
Yeah. So, do you want to start with one of your bottom 5?
Yes. Let's see. One of my bottom 5 is the need for like a kitchen prep area. You did all of the cooking, but there just needed to be a place to do that because the default place ended up being the top of the cooler, which isn't going to work.
Right. And that was on my list as well. So I had, that was my number 3. Need more counter prep area for cooking, so I agree with that one.
Okay,
all right.
You go.
I will start with these things. This is by far my number 1 bottom 5, or my bottom. The stupid doors leaked. So when I bought this trailer, the doors came with them. And I bought it from a guy who had started. He had ordered the doors, he had ordered the windows and everything. So I just used what he had gotten. They leaked. So down here on this bottom, they leaked. There's a channel called Oregon Batman, where he built a teardrop camper, and he has very similar doors, and his leaked as well. And he said in that video that he heard from other people that they leak. So be careful with the kind of doors that you get for these trailers. The other thing I don't like is this thing isn't insulated at all. This is just like maybe a 1/2 inch or maybe a 3/8 inch aluminum here, and then its window. There's no insulation value at all in the window. So that is certainly my number 1 bottom 5, or my number 5 bottom 5. How would you rate that?
The top thing that bothered you.
Okay, yes.
That was on my list as well.
Stupid doors.
I think, yeah, the doors are clumsy, and it was the cold factor too, because that was sleeping up against that was cold.
Okay.
Let's see. What else did I have? In the galley area, there needs to be like plastic tubs or things that can be grabbed out easily and maybe put on this new kitchen area. Particularly, the silverware is fine, I think, but the other area in the galley just is a catch-all, and I think it needs to have either divided portions, or I still think it'd be easier to be able to grab something and set it out and take it over to the picnic table.
Okay. So more organization?
Yes.
That was on my list as well.
Yes.
So we're 3 for 3 so far.
Woohoo!
Yes, I definitely need, and I kind of knew that going in. I just didn't know what organization was needed, and we got a better idea of what we need, and maybe some tubs like that might be a good thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. I am going to put another one on the stabilizer jacks that I have. I got some. They're okay, but where we parked, I had to raise one side about, I don't know, maybe 3-4 inches, and it was just difficult. So I just need to get the better crank-on ones, like a regular car jack is. Leveling it was not easy, so I just need to get different jacks for them. So here's what those jacks look like. And so yeah, I just need to get better ones. These were cheaper, but there's a reason why they were cheaper. Bet you didn't have that one.
I did not have that one because, again, you did that. So
All right, what did you have?
That's kind of taken care of 4 of mine. And the other one might be, we ended up cooking off of the camp stove, so I don't know if this is applicable or not, but I think we need a few more cookware items.
Like?
Dutch oven.
Dutch oven, yes.
Yes, and that is a campfire thing, but it could also be used on the camp stove as well. We ended up using a lot of things that we've just had kicking around here, and they work fine. We ate very well, but maybe in building the dividers and organizing the galley area, maybe that could be thought out. What do we need in case of cooking on a fire or cooking on the camp stove?
Yeah. Okay.
That's about it for my bottom 5.
Yeah, and I just have one more, and this really isn't, I'm not sure this is a problem yet. Because it was so cold, we had 3 sleeping bags in there, spread out, so they were the rectangular ones, so we had them basically use them as blankets. We were not cold from the bottom up, it was just the air inside. But because there was that, and we went to bed with jackets on to start, as we warmed up, we took those off, it was a little tight in there, 4 foot across. So we'll have to see when it's summer and we have less things in there. I think it'll be fine, but for cold weather camping, it was a little tight.
Don't know how you can fix that now.
There's a stretcher.
Okay.
Okay, so that is our bottom 5. And now we'll move to our top 5 list. So, do you want to go first or do you want me to?
You go this time.
I will go first. So the first thing I'll say is it pulled nicely. It was, we stopped actually at a truck stop, and I got this weighed. So I got it weighed with the van and this, and then we took this off and then pulled the van across. And this was fully loaded, 1,200 pounds, almost exactly. So I was happy with that. That means that I probably have empty weight of this thing is probably around 850 or something like that. And it pulled straight. There was a little windy at times, and it had no problem. It snowed, we had no problem. So I was happy with the way it towed, and it was almost like I sometimes forgot that I had it behind me.
My number 1 is completely aesthetic. I think it's just beautiful. It is beautiful, and there weren't very many people at the campground because they're not all as crazy as we are. But they were interested. They wanted to ask about it. It's not, you didn't build it to draw attention, but it certainly is an attention getter because it's beautifully made. The red is striking. We both kind of chose that. It looks great in the outdoors. It like he said, it pulls great. I think it's just beautiful, both inside and out.
Cool. Cool. I didn't put that one on there. All right, one of my things was more of a functional thing, and I'll get out of the way here. So these vents that I put on, I think you can see that here. The vents that came on, one of the reasons why I put them in there is because it's such a small space and it's very tight. Well, the stupid doors are not insulated. Did I mention they're stupid doors? But I wanted to be able to vent it when it was cooler and just crack the top a little bit, the air vent, without opening these windows. And when we were sleeping, if you had your head right next to this, you could feel the air coming out, which, of course was cold, but it was doing its job. It was just a natural convection coming in through here and out through the top. So I thought that the side vents really worked well. I was kind of worried if I put them in for no reason, but they really did their job well.
Yes, and they did not leak.
Unlike
the stupid doors. Yay. Well, with that being said, then my next one was, I was very happy with how warm it was. It was hard to leave the campfire and crawl in.
Yes.
Because there was nothing in there to create warmth until we got in there and were able to snuggle in. But I was really pleasantly surprised with how warm it kept us throughout the night. And then, you know, how we could take layers off. We didn't have to sleep in coats and pants and be completely uncomfortable with all the layers. So I was happy with how warm it was, even with the airflow and the stupid doors.
And the stupid doors that leaked. So this is related to one of our bottom 5.
Okay.
So we had said that there needed to be more organization in the galley. But one thing I was happy with is the amount of storage was ample. There was plenty of storage. In fact, so we just did a basically a 2-day trip, 2 nights, and we got there late Friday and left on before noon on Sunday. So less than 48 hours we were there. But I think we had enough room in there for food and for all our dishes and stuff, where we've probably got enough for maybe a 5 to 7 day storage without having to go to a store. So I'm very happy with the amount of storage as I was building it. Never having built one before, I wasn't sure. So I'm happy about that.
I have on mine great use of small space, inside and out. Inside, the chargers are nice. We're not big on electronics, especially when we're camping, but we have our phones, and it was easy to plug those in and put them on a tiny little shelf that he built in a small space. And then our cubbies that we have inside, especially with all of our winter gear, we were able to, as we were able to get warm, we were able to stuff things into the cubbies. And in the galley as well, there's good, it's not a big space, but there's good use of what we need, especially when it's going to be just us two. So great use of small space is what I said.
Yeah, so this is, you kind of combine those. I have another one, the cabin shelves. So the shelves that I built in here, they stored quite a bit, even for being small. So that was one of my other pluses for the top. Unlike the door, which leaked and was stupid.
But the door? I think the only other thing that I had, which was related, is that I think we slept very comfortably on the mattress itself. And, you know, we have a couple of pads and then a mattress and then a foam topper. And I just wasn't sure, you know, with our age, I wasn't sure. We like the comfort. I like the comfort of my bed at home, and you get used to that. And it was really comfortable. So
cool. My number 1. Drum roll, please. I got my wife to go camping with me, even in cold weather.
He did.
That was my number 1.
He did.
That was the first time we've been camping together, just the two of us, ever. We went with kids when they were younger. We went with our parents and kids and things like that, but never just the two of us. And so we were able to get out and do that.
Aww. Gosh.
So there you go. Our bottom and top 5 things about the camper for our first trip. So I'm sure we'll learn more about it as we use it more next year. Getting ready to put it away for the winter, just taking out some stuff. And then we've got a storage place we're going to put it in. So thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. And we look forward to more videos and more camping. Hey.